Whaatala whātu Amerika Samoa I lau whaafunga I ni tu lau lea fiafi. E lai nisi o tala mai lau Kvzk TV. I se whaatala tala noanga lau Kvzk TV ma lea fiunga le whaatona sili o le matanga luenga le soifua maluluina ia Dr. Saipali fui maono. Sa e whailo ai le tūlanga wa iei le wha mai le denki whima mai la tau wā a fiai. Ina oto I fo I mai la la tau whainga malanga mai Samoa. Pa pe fo I le wha manatu taua I le mamalu le atunu.
O le tūlanga mo mua la ia misala o le te pose lilo o le whaafonga le tātou atunu ia tūlanga o tātou wha mai lo le denki whima. Wa iei ni whaamamaunga a le mtanga luenga soifua malolo ina. Ia e wha tātou cases po e wā whaina o le tūlanga o tātou denki whima. O ia fo ia tātou cases ia wha ia ua munmawina ia o lātou na whaimalanga mai Samoa. O nisi fo i o tātou atunu sa whaimalanga atu. Ia o toi fo mai ia lewa mautino ai ia ua maua le denki whima. Ia pe o ngā luenga masani a le mtanga luenga a le soifua maloloina ina ia tau mwhailawa ia pui pui tūlanga o lea fo I le matu ia o le anga sengase o le denki whima. Ai a whaila o toi na mlanga I Samoa ia a whai a whaina o I ni aunga po le tinga le ulu o le whima pe ngā ngasi le tino ia a ngā iane tātou whale whanmai whai tu malo ia na ina le afsosoni e le tātou fo mai po e fo I lava ia la ia tātou tangata. O le whautuanga masani lava aua le whaatali se I ni te ua tuai ai me se lava ni te ua whaina tele oe ia no ole stulanga matu ia. O le whautuanga fo ia mtanga luenga soifua maloloina I awala pui pui ai. O lo whautuaina ia tātou le mamalu a whioanga ai me se o tātou atunu I tātou maota se I tanga I le lei I tūlanga o lo iai a ting pau o a ting apa o mea uma ia lava e toa I le vai ia o mautinoa lava o na inale o la mai ei le namu wai mo le sirafia le tātou atunu ia o le tanki e whea vea I le namu o le mela le e a ngani atu ai ma le tātou atunu ia tātou ngā lue whatasi taitone le se ele fofo I se tanga I mai na mato atu mo fo il tanga luenga soifua malo I se masina o te ia tātou te tatanua I awala fo I e pui pui ai le tātou atunu ia mai tātou denki whima. O le isi wha moe o awala e pui pui ai o lo I e tātou spray a mo le silofia ia te tonu na to tele na wala au mai a o le spray ia ua uma ona va aia ma tu mai fo I whatanga ale mtanga luenga lo EPA pe o la tau le va aia tūlanga I mise lava I mo meo o vai la au whapena ai o lo iei fo ia fautuanga le CDC pe o la tau lava ia o lo mato ngā lue whatasi ai mise lava le pui pui ngā lea fo inga singa se o le tenki a wala le popole si o tātou atunu ai a fai fo e popole wala au mai wa uma na mato tatanoa ma mato paanga ia e le EPA ia tūlanga fo tātou spray e le wa uman mautinoa le e pui pui e le tātou whamai a me se lava le namu e le o te le se a whaine te tono tātou I tangata a me se lava pa pe spray tono lo mauta ia po fafo fo I lo mauta o isi a wala I e whautu atu ai le tātou atunu a whape fo I e whaine o ngā luenga I whafo ia e whaanga mai a tātou ufu ia lima umi se tulau lava le whafonga ang o isi a wala o le namu e tele na taa pe moe le tai au wa a ore po ia e me e o ai a le whatuanga na a whapea mise lava tātou ia e whapea I ngā lua I tua I tūlanga tātou lau whanua ia e whautuaina ia tātou ofu whangale ofu lima umi ia po ofu wai fo I se tulau ia o isi a wala mwhaina pui pui ia si o tātou atunu umai le namu ai mo I lātou fo I la na malanga mai Samoa po o e wa malanga mai Samoa a whai wa e whaalangoina ia aunga ia e le whima po le tinga le ulu ngā ngase le tino ai me se lava tūlanga le o te tulo lava me o iwi ma tua I tinga lava ia o aunga tonu ana le wha mai lo tenki mole ia nga ia ne tatou fale mai fai tu malo se fai ele siaki ma su e ai ia po wa faina o le tenki o le si foi tuanga ia tele le vai tam fai lava tele le vai e tamaf ia wa risi le tulanga a tele le na faina ia o le mo se temi le tulanga le meta mafa e mise va le sua vai
sa fa manatu fo ile afionga fa tonu le mamalu I matua fa pele atunu le tau tele o tui pui pui a wala mfanau manisi fo fuanga e a ona faia
o lisi lava lea fe au po le tau longa le tanu inga soi fua maloloina ia tatou whanawiti ia o lo tulanga fo o tatou tui lea po tui pui puia ia o lo tau sanga pia ia tatou matua wha mole au mailo walo na ia faia la tu tui pui puia po alava tau sanga o whafua ia o le pui pui lava I ne tam fai e awa ni ia whaina o tatou whanau ia tatou I whamai ese o lo ia ila le au ngani ale mtangano inga soi fua malolo ina whamon mule ai me se lava tatou tui le MMR o le tui le pui pui ele misela tau sa inga tatou atunu ia ono le tui lea e whai le tasi e amate le tasi tau sanga no atu le lunga po le wha tau sanga o le tāua o le nei tui momua ia me se lava ia tatou whanawiti po le pepe le whato ato tau sanga ina ia pui pui mai ai ina ia pui pui mai ai I tūlanga o le whamai lau le misela salo fo ia le opose lilo sinfia si o tatou tunu ia o lisi le whamai e whaisina matu ia e ono a whainai fo I le soifua o tatou whanau ai tau sangatu ai e lava sefsili ia wala au mai pea le lua tasiva ai a nga ifo a tatou whamolmole o tatou matua tanga iane le pepatui alo walo a wha pea lava titangai atu le atotua ia pe yesu fo I sefsili a mai pea lo walo ia tatou whanmai wha I tu malo ia o le afsosan ia tfo I tini tau simai po le ale tui le mana o mia ni temi awa to e tano atu whamolmole matuai ia tatou ngā lue whatasi ia wale pui pui o tatou walum whanau si o tatou atunu ia pese o mai le mtanga luenga ina ia tatou tatanoa masoala upule I le mamalu si o tatou atunu ia o tatou ngā lue whatasi pe lava le upu ia e sili pui pui I lo le tongfitia a ia fo ila sefisili ia o lo ia le matu telefoni o le lua tasiva ia po le ono tol whaono o ono ia e te wala au mai ai pa ia lava sefisili ia ai mo le awa lava tauai ia I manuia lava le whasausanga si o tatou tunu soifu
Nunu ia solelei mai lau KVZK News. I se whaatala noanga lau KVZK TV ma le komisina le matanga luenga le puipuinga lau tele le tau wha le tau ia ta anga sa I te mōlinga le tau lumanga umasa whea ngai ma le luilunga o I latou o le a onga leo o le a mataina nei.
Ia onga o le wha moe makanga luenga mo le a onga lo fofongai mo le ima kamakai leo mo le ngei kausanga mo moong wha marulua ko le whafonga ka kukungu ia onga ua kere fo ingisio e le ngakai makua ia o ainga ia e whaasea mai onga o kulanga o whiwhiringo whangau ma malako o lo o kaustingo mo le ngaruenga whalo leo ia o le me mongi lava ia e leo se me whaingo whie kam foi e uia uma wala e kala whengai marikula fongo ia e sa ilingo ngak whenga luenga ngem kanga luenga ia wala e kawanga uia e kala whengai marikula fongo e tui whiringa ia e amaka mari sa ilingo ngak e mai sa ringa luenga whale leo ia langa leo se ngaruenga e whaingo whie ma e kanga e kua foi mkanga luenga ma maripulenga mkanga luenga ia i ngaka e kakau ma nga waa ia monu ngaruenga e ngisho kako whangau I kulanga o suenga ngwhai ia e le leo lako kong ia le whapeo la wala ngai whiwhiri ei o le amkanga ngā o le wingo o wala ia e vei umkai ma le imaka mai kai lo leo a le kongi a whale kongu le si vaianga o le afo o sairi lingo ia o ngā foi fufu i eilingo e le whapea a pasiera o suenga ia umokungola o kumekilo i kongo o le kulanga o lo sa i leia ka whenga luenga ma ala makanga luenga umalo suenga ia e fo isi suenga e ala I lungo suenga I whala au whasainga ia a whai e sao mai ai lau suafa malo ia o ngā ole o le interview a o mali interview o e ngā fo e whiwhiri ai e whakau lungo o whamkaranga ma winga e whaari mai kai mo le whakakarangwanga mo ngā ruanga ia o le soile mea le e la au maka i whangau ma mese i alo ka kua ngā solo mai o isi ia pēa ele mga kumawhai le i le interview po o kulanga suanga ngā ruanga ia kara mai au o ko kele ia e ofu mai le miki afu sau mo le shoa ia e whaare mai ngā o wala la ia maka e mako kulanga whiwhiringa o leo langa wa inga le kungo ui whoringa o leo mara e o leo o me silium ka ua whapenga whola kulanga o interview a sau kusapo pasela o suenga pasela o track test a sau whiakul interview a sau mo le shoa mo le miki afu ia o le leo se whakainga le lenga mo i roka kungo whaare leo ma wala e whiwhirei whangau me leo ia ele whapenga o le pasela o suenga ia pasela interview ia o ngā mokingo lewa wa vele e kangai kon kanga runga i ana kula fongo whiwhiringa kunga e kangai fol kanga runga e lewinga le i whamkaranga masanguanga ia a mesa ai kai mo interview
Nunu yasolele mai lau KVZK News. O loo solo lelei le tau mawhainga sui o Amerika Samoa o loo awai ta alonga al Pasifika o loo whaia nei le atunu o Palau e iwa whailonga o maua i le taimi nei mai ta alonga sa tau waai alo mawhana o Amerika Samoa e lua pine aulo e wha pine siliva ma le tolu pine apa me mea o se tau mawhainga matanga o fia nei alo le atunu a wale tapo inga malu alo tato whainga malu ai maise le au te lenga o tangata anu o Amerika Samoa. Ia manuia lo lato walo whaiva, ia manuia fo lo lato to te liu mai. Nunu yasolele mai lau KVZK News. Ua tatala ina le avanoa le official interior mo talo sanga territorial malo tele mo fesoasoani tupe e whaangai o ia inga luenga ma poloketi vaenga o le puipuinga o le sio manga i whanua ma le sami wa pele anoa i o vaenga i mo mia o ne whaalilea i totono o Amerika Samoa ma i si territory o le United States e ai foile avanoa e maua ai le fesoasoani ini awala mo le territory e whaasao ina mamawhai ai o na whaasoasoa le lei le tamao a inga lo tata watu nuu. Mao le aso sifuru whao le maasino au kuso le tau sanga nei e whaangata ai nei talo sanga. Nunu yaso le lei mai lau KVZK News. O tala mai a pia, o lo tau fia nei leo le ali ia tua whai fiu si tutalo mitusi o no whaasia mai nisi o le atu nuu. I lona whaia lea o ni whaamatalanga se i lunga o penga tawhailangi. I lalo lana tuatusi wa ta ua o le tama o le ele. Sa ave e sea mai leo mai sawai, matuina ia pia le to ese. Sa whailoa le sunga komsino leo, ia awa pa au longo i tino Filipo e whaapea. O lo molia le sunga alo mitusi i le tau whaaleanga, tau leanga ina o le ingo se tasi ma le whaonga ina o upu whai. A whai wha mao ni ane se o le tula fono, e ono whaasala ina le nei le i le tau sanga, e peo le tu umata manga i le vaenga lua se lau sifuluiva, o le tula fono mo soli ngā tula fono mamafa. O le whaiunga nao whapopongo tala mai lau KVZK TV mo lau whaafonga Amerika Samoa, ia manuia lau whaasausaunga, tau whaasoifua.
Talofa, this is your evening news on Kvzk TV. Leading the news tonight, the American Samoa Department of Health has issued a travel alert due to the confirmation of 4 imported cases of dengue fever among travelers who recently returned from Samoa, where dengue activity is currently ongoing. Additionally, Fiji and Tonga have reported dengue outbreaks in recent weeks. Although there is no confirmed local transmission of dengue in the territory at this time, the presence of the virus in travelers returning from affected countries increases the risk of its introduction and potential local spread through the bite of mosquitoes. The Department of Health is actively responding to the situation and is working closely with health partners and communities to minimize the risk of dengue spreading locally. For more information, please feel free to contact the Department of Health at 219.
In the last week and a half, we have identified and lab confirmed 4 cases of dengue in the territory. 2 of the cases were pediatric, while 2 cases were adults. All 4 cases presented to LBJ Hospital and were lab tested at the DOH Public Health Lab and confirmed to have dengue. All 4 patients are currently stable and have been discharged back to their homes. Now, after carrying out our surveillance activities, we identified that all 4 of these cases are labeled as imported cases. What this means is that all 4 cases acquired the virus off island and then returned home from one of these countries that is currently experiencing a dengue outbreak. In response to these 4 cases, the Department of Health has mobilized its environmental health services teams to the residences of all 4 of these cases to carry out environmental spraying, in addition to providing the families with information on how they can prevent the spread of dengue in their communities. Furthermore, we are also carrying out residual spraying to neighboring houses of these affected patients to ensure we reduce the risk of there being local transmission. However, I must confirm we do not have any current cases of locally transmitted dengue, as all 4, as previously mentioned, are imported. Now, what is the Department of Health doing about this? Currently, our first activity is to strengthen border screening. We have reactivated screening teams at both the airports and seaports who will carry out fever screenings for passengers arriving from Apia, in addition to any vessels arriving from countries that have declared an outbreak of dengue. Secondly, we have mobilized our environmental health team to carry out environmental spraying in high population density areas, schools, community health centers, and hospitals, in addition to certain offices that have been identified by the team. Now, our job as the Department of Health is to ensure that the public is informed at all times of what's going on, in addition to how you can protect yourselves and your families, and how you can contribute to protecting the community as a whole. Currently, we advise the public to ensure that their compounds are free of mosquito breeding sites, and this can be done by cleaning up trash around the compound, anything that can hold water and allow for mosquitoes to breed and lay eggs. We are advising members of the community to go out and identify mosquito breeding sites in their compounds and clear them. In addition to protecting yourself, if you have to move at dusk and dawn, we advise wearing long sleeves and long pants to avoid being bitten by mosquitoes, as well as using DEET-containing mosquito repellent. Now, to our travelers returning from the countries mentioned, we request that you monitor your health as well as those traveling with you for up to 14 days upon arrival. And should you experience any symptoms of dengue, such as fever, cough, body aches, rash, diarrhea, and vomiting, please report to your nearest community health center or LBJ hospital and inform your physician that you have recently traveled. We'll continue to keep the community updated as things progress. Thank you.
Joya Tafengai Mali with your news on KVZK. Police Commissioner Ta'anga Sa'ite Molinga dismissed recent allegations that the candidates chosen for the upcoming police academy, scheduled to commence on the 7th of July, were selectively handpicked. During an interview with Kvzk TV, the commissioner emphasized the integrity of the selection process, asserting that these claims are entirely unfounded. Commissioner Ta'anga highlighted that the candidates were selected based on a merit-based system, which evaluated each applicant's qualifications, skills, and adherence to established protocols. He reiterated that every individual who applied underwent a thorough vetting process ensuring transparency and fairness in the recruitment of future law enforcement officers.
The police academy is about to kick off next week. July 7th will be the starting date for the academy. I know there's a lot of confusions and a lot of complaints about the way we selected our cadets for the academy. But I can say this, that we are doing everything accordingly to the guidelines that we set up for our selection for the candidates for the academy. As of right now, we already make our decision on the 60 candidates for the academy and also 20 slots for the reserve. We also have some members of our law enforcement community that were having candidates for the academy, like the Treasury and also the Homeland Security, the Correctional Facility, and also the Custom. So those are the 4 law enforcement agencies that we work together. We'll let them have their candidates for the upcoming academy. They all go through the same process that we are using to select the candidates for the academy. The purpose of the academy is just to make sure that the candidates understand and will be prepared for the police work. But after the academy, the candidates from each of this department, law enforcement department, will go back to their original workplace. And our selection for the academy out of the 60 candidates will depend on after the academy itself. Hopefully, the duration of the academy will probably about 3.5 months. So by that time, we should be able to have more officers on the road, and hopefully we'll be able to beef up our personnel and our manpower in order to cover all the substation and the division that we have on our island. But as far as the starting date for the academy, July 7th at 9 a.m. over at the Public Works conference room, that will be the venue for the police academy or the Public Works compound. Other than that, we're ready and set to go.
Joyetta Fiangay Mali with your news on KVZK. In other news, Team American Samoa has demonstrated exceptional performance at the Pacific Mini Games in Palau, securing a total of 9 medals over the first 2 days of competition. This commendable accomplishment includes 2 gold medals, 4 silver, and 3 bronze, all of which are attributed to the exemplary efforts of our wrestlers. Ato Neil Miller distinguished himself by winning a gold medal in the 110-kilogram wrestling event, thereby showcasing his athletic prowess. Zealand Faleali'i, who also achieved a gold medal, competing in the 130-kilogram Greco-Roman wrestling category, further establishing his capabilities as a prominent athlete. Amoloy exhibited remarkable versatility, earning 2 silver medals, one in the freestyle wrestling 97-kilogram division and another in the Greco wrestling 97-kilogram division. His performance underscored his adaptability across wrestling styles. Additionally, Latana Sopa secured a silver medal in freestyle wrestling, while Zealand Faleali'i earned another silver in freestyle wrestling, contributing significantly to the team's overall medal tally. The 3 bronze medals were awarded to Amoloy in freestyle wrestling, Cameron Sopa as well in freestyle wrestling, and Victor Stanley in Greco wrestling. Each of these athletes displayed determination and skill, further enhancing the team's overall success. The women's softball team achieved a noteworthy victory in their opening match against Micronesia, winning with a commanding score of 17-1. This victory not only boosts team morale, but also establishes a positive foundation for the remainder of the tournament. Tahiti dominates the scoreboard with 23 gold medals, 13 silver and 4 bronze. Second in line is Samoa with 6 gold and 4 bronze medals. Joyetta Fiangay Mali with your news on KVZK. The Department of Interior's Office of Insular Affairs has opened applications for fiscal year 2025 funding to support projects in the U.S. territories and freely associated states. The Office of Insular Affairs is committed to promoting sustainable developments, enhancing infrastructure, and effectively managing natural resources in these regions. According to a statement released by the U.S. DOI, these funding opportunities are crucial for advancing local priorities and improving the quality of life in island communities. Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary for Insular and International Affairs, William Hague, said he's proud to announce that new funding is now available to help advance key priorities across U.S. territories and freely associated states through their discretionary grant programs. During his meetings last week with island finance ministers and officials, he emphasized that one of their top priorities will be improving how and when required financial audits, known as single audits, are completed and submitted. These audits are essential to ensure federal funds are utilized properly, and they look forward to collaborating to strengthen this process and support the goals outlined in each area's grant applications. Funding is available through several key programs, including technical assistance, maintenance assistance, coral reef and natural resource management, brown tree snake control, and community energization. Applicants are encouraged to carefully review the program guidelines and submit well-supported proposals by the 15th of August 2025. The priorities, eligibility requirements, and application details for each funds are outlined in the Notifications of Funding Opportunity, available at www.grants.gov under Assistance Listing number 15875. The Assistant Secretary for Insular and International Affairs and the Office of Insular Areas fulfill the Secretary of the Interior's responsibilities for the U.S. territories of American Samoa, Guam, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Joya Tafiangay Mali with your news on KVZK. In news from Apia, a social media blogger named Tama Oleeleele, also known as Fiu Situta Lumitusi, was arrested and charged by the Samoa police on Wednesday morning in Savaii as part of a crackdown on individuals allegedly spreading false information. Police Commissioner Awapa'aulong Itino Filippo told Samoa Observer that Lumitusi was transferred to Apia and charged with harassment using electronic devices, defamation, and using insulting language. Awapa'au stated that Lumitusi was placed in custody as the investigation continues, following multiple complaints from members of the public. 2 individuals have already filed complaints against him, which prompted the charges. He is now in custody and they are waiting for more complaints. Some have already been submitted and others are expected. This may lead to additional charges, said the police commissioner. Lumitusi is a Samoan citizen residing in New Zealand. He was in Samoa visiting family and relatives at the time of his arrest. His Facebook page, Tama Oleeleele, has a large following. In Samoa, harassment through electronic devices, such as cyberbullying, can result in maximum penalty of 5 years imprisonment, as outlined in Section 219 of the Crimes Act, which addresses harassment utilizing means of electronic communication. The police have yet to specify when Lumitusi will appear in court, as they are awaiting the outcome of further investigations. That's your evening news. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Pangu, U.S. Army veteran, a fisherman, and a farmer. In my opinion on this, well, I oppose the mining of our seabeds.